Hoi. Hoi hoi. So restream chat is working again, so that's good. That's a huge plus. I'm not sure I see chat messages in the. Oh wait. I see chat messages in YouTube now. Are they recent or are they from yesterday? I think they're recent. And I think. Why do I not get an email about that? Is that correct? Then I just got a member. Does it show that anywhere? Viewer activity. No. I think Samuel Norman became a member. Why am I not getting notified about that, like, at all? I'm getting another email by YouTube that I'm live on my channel. Yeah, I know. Thanks for telling me. Hi, Fishy. Hi, Samuel. Let me check that out, really. And thank you, obviously. Let me check that out, because you're my first member. I have to figure this out. So, where's my... Where was that? Wait, I had that recently. Somewhere on YouTube. I'm not a huge fan of the new YouTube studio. It's horrendous. Where was that? Settings? No. Where? Monetization? Oh, it's on the monetization. Memberships. I got a member. Awesome. Since yesterday or since today? I don't know. It doesn't even show me... Oh, level 5 even. Wow, thank you. Appreciate it. It doesn't show me it at your account though. Oh wait, yeah. And since I have the same logo for all, there is no difference. So yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Oh, it actually shows here. Okay, never mind. I found it. Dumb. Why do I not get a notification about that? Or maybe I got one yesterday in the viewer activity chat. Weird. Like it's sending me emails about me going online on my own channel, but it's not sending me emails about new members. Like that's like, eh? It doesn't make a pop-up. It doesn't make not a pop-up, a notification. It doesn't do anything. I don't know. The new YouTube design is something to complain about. Ooh, wait. No, wait, it should be fine. Small picture. Oh yeah. Okay. I have to keep this window open. Oops, no, I didn't want to load that tab. Okay. YouTube has subscription for a while now, Fishy. It's not shoving it in the viewer's face a lot, so they got a redesign recently though. But usually it was like a membership for $5, and now you can actually choose, like the channel can set up levels for like up to 5 different levels, and it recommends to have like one cheap one and then a $5 one, then an expensive one. And I was like, let's just go for $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5. That should be fine for the moment. Like it's not like anyone became a member of my channel for $5 beforehand, so I don't expect anyone to become a member for more than $5 anytime soon. So, hey Adam, welcome back. So yeah, that's cool. Really weird that. Okay, Samuel, you have to tell me. Did you become a member yesterday during yesterday's stream? And because if so, I think I know where I have to look. Or if you just became a member, then it just didn't show the notification. But if you became one yesterday, and it probably showed up in the viewer activity tab on the live stream thingy, which I don't look at usually. And that's I assume that's what happened. Fishy asked if the membership thing does anything. It gives you a badge and emoticons. I only like it's supposed to have multiple emoticons and it's supposed to have different badges for the different levels, but I don't have any, so I just took the Richard Conway avatar and used it as a badge and as an emoticon. So yeah, it's mostly like it's basically a pay what you want kind of thing. A few days ago. Oh, interesting. Okay, because YouTube tells me you remember since 1 day, so I guess it's lying. So yeah, it's like here's the thing. I'm doing my stuff free of charge. Obviously, like one reason is nobody would pay for it probably, or not a lot of people at least, to make this reasonable. But also because I just want to. I have fun sharing stuff. So I like to do something and get the attention for it, basically. I'm an attention whore. So I like if people enjoy my stuff. So that gives me a good feeling. And so I'm happy doing that. So that's usually why I try to reach as many people as possible. So I'm not putting anything behind any paywalls, or would never put anything behind any paywall. Well, I say that now, but who knows what happens when I... In a hypothetical universe where my channel blows up and all of a sudden I could afford that, but I don't think I would put anything behind a paywall or anything substantial anyway, because I like my perfect vision would be to run this on a pay what you want as a pay what you want kind of thing, and I consider ads being that. Like I'm not angry at anyone who uses an ad blocker. Because I think ads are kind of like it's a good way to give back to a creator you like, or to anyone you like, to whatever service you like, without actually paying money. So I consider ads being pay what you want, and that's also why I chose the levels to be $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5, because it's basically pay what you want. Yeah, thanks for paying what you wanted, and what you wanted being $5 a month. That's cool. I also at that point, good point to thank my Patreon, Terrible Turtles, I think his name, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's his name. He got the Patreon reward where he can put a link below my Twitch stream. So that should be there. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I put it there. There, Patreon links. He put in a link to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So that's a foundation that puts money into preventing suicide. So that's a good thing. So he just decided to basically use his patronage reward, to link to a good thing. So that's nice. YouTube ads are often super annoying. Yeah, they're usually short or easy to skip, but I know what you mean. So yeah, as I said, I'm not angry with anyone who uses ad blocker at all. I get it. I don't myself usually. I mean, I do on my work computer actually, because my employee like it's a guideline for work computers. But on my private computer, I usually don't use ad blockers because I like to give back as well, and I don't really I don't really want to afford like actually subscribing to people or becoming a patron or donating or whatever. So yeah, without further ado, take a look here. We stopped there yesterday basically. So this is out of the equation. We don't need this, at least not right now. It might become like Fake It Easy might become useful at some point. Because Fake It Easy is actually pretty great framework for mocking and stuff. Library, not framework. And it worked really well for me in another project. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that anytime soon. So we're gonna go back to the helper thing. Samuel T. Norman writes in chat, I use an ad blocker, but it's set to only block intrusive ads. So what I do is, and that actually blocks some ads. I'm using Firefox, not Chrome, like most people. I'm using Firefox, and Firefox has like new settings, but I can actually show them to you. I don't think it was gonna show anything sensitive here. It's just my options menu. So Firefox has this new enhanced tracking protection thingy, and I've set it to strict. So it's gonna block any social media trackers, any cross-site tracking cookies, any tracking content in all windows, crypto miners, and fingerprinters. So fingerprinters are basically thingies that try to identify. But you don't see that. Oh, because I didn't transition. Why is it not actually showing the thing? Also, I have to do this. Second. Stream is not set up correctly. I'm very sorry. That's not. What? That's not. No. What are you doing? That's not Visual Studio 7. There. Okay, but back to the browser. Why do you not see the browser? Oh, you see. Never mind. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, okay. See this. So yeah, it's blocking all this stuff, which actually blocks a few ads. We got a new version. Okay, not gonna download that right now. And also I sent do not track, which doesn't do much, but so yeah. So that's what I do, and that actually blocks a few ads. So that's the extent of ad blocking I'm doing. So yeah, okay. And we were talking about, so yeah, I removed the fake it easy bullet point here because we're not going to use it right now, but it might come in handy later if we actually have to mock something. So let's get back to the helper thing. It's almost, well, it's not almost finished, but I got the research done. It should be easy to finish it now. So basically the idea is I have multiple classes that implement equatable to something, and if you're implementing equatable, you should override. You A, want to test that obviously, and B, you should override your equals to object method as well, because you should make sure that calls to equals to object equals should check for the type of the given object, and if it's actually of the type your class is equatable to, then it should call the other equals method. Because if it doesn't, then you get some really weird and really weird and unexpected results, or unintuitive results from your code, and that's gonna be a mess to debug. Especially like issues with equals are always horrible to find. Like usually because usually they end up in like having weird side effects on collections and stuff. Like if you're trying to put the things, if you're putting your objects in the collection and then running some methods on that, and then sometimes it, like if the equals operator is, or the equals method is fucked up, then you get weird results usually because it assumes that objects are equal that aren't, or the other way around. So that can be really, really weird. So it's important to get your equals, if you're messing with equals at all, to get it right. So the safe way is to go without any equals overriding at all. But since I'm working with immutable types here for the most part, or right now for all the parts actually, everything I implemented so far is immutable. It's very convenient to have equals being overridden because, well, it's just like if they're immutable, it makes sense to compare them by value, basically. So by the identifying values. So yeah, and because I don't want to write the same tests over and over again, I'm trying to write some methods that help me with that. So we have the assert equals to object basics method up here that checks. What does it check? It checks the equals to object method, and it checks that the item is equals to itself, which basically hopefully calls the other equals method, but not necessarily, obviously. Like this will actually assert as true. Like all of the thing is, this is not doing much because all of this is actually gonna succeed if you don't override equals at all. So I'm not sure. Like, it's still good to have them in here, but I would like to ensure somehow that it's actually calling the right thing, and I'm not sure I can do that. Like, I need, yeah, okay. I remember what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna do another method. So I'm gonna call it public static void assert equatable basics. It's gonna have a generic parameter t, no, for a t item, for the item or the class I want to check. Well, t class, yeah, t class. Then t equatable to. So the class is equatable to another thing. Yeah, and I'm gonna set it up that, so t class, this is wrong, t class is I equatable to t equatable to, obviously. And since in most situations where I do that, like the method is written for a very specific thing, usually also t class is implementing actually t equatable to. Because usually what I have is I have a class tile, and that class tile implements iTile. So iTile is an interface here, implements iTile, and iTile actually implements I equatable to iTile. So this is exactly the situation I have here. Tile is t class and iTile is equatable to, because tile is now equatable to iTile and also implements iTile. I'm not sure if I actually need that. Let's actually put some comments here and see if I actually need that. Because if I don't, then I can leave it out. But I think I need it for something. Well, we'll see. I call you generic. Hi, Salts. Mr. Generic. That's a dumb joke. I have to. I should really invest into a microphone arm. Like, the thing is, usually, if I'm streaming games or recording games, it's not an issue to have my mic sit in front of me on the desk, because then I have the left hand on the keyboard, the right hand on the mouse, and the mic is basically in front of the right part of the keyboard or the center part of the keyboard, and I can have the keyboard fairly close to me. So, but if I'm actually need both hands because I'm typing, then I have to move the keyboard to the right, so it's more centered in front of my body, and I have to move it back so my right arm can, or both of the arms can wrap around the microphone, which means the keyboard is actually pretty far away, which is really uncomfortable and makes me lean forward a lot, which is probably not healthy, not a healthy position. So I probably should invest into a microphone arm. I hope they not expand. I have to see if there are cheap ones out there. I don't know. We'll see. So what should I test here? The important thing I want to check is that equals to object actually calls this equals method, or the equatable equals method. Can I? Oh yeah, so I want, yeah, right. What I wanted to do is basically, I cannot really make this completely generic and like create instance of what. So, but what I can do is basically I can create a template. So because I always have to make the same few checks, and for those checks, I need the inputs. Like the test will not be able to actually. Well, I'm just going to show you because it's easier to show than tell what I mean. So first, I need an object of the class. So I'm just going to call that item. And then I need a value equal to item boolean equals to item. So another object of the same class that is not the same as item, but is value equals to it. So I can check that it's the equatable thingy is actually working. Then, and also this allows me, well, I'm going to show you in a second. This allows me to test if the equals operator is actually, the other equals method is actually overridden. What else? Not value equals to item. Do I want something else? Like, do I want something from a completely different type? So I can throw it in the other equals method. Is this reasonable to? Is that a useful test? Having another type that this type is not equatable to, and then checking that equals object actually returns false. It's not really all that useful. It doesn't hurt. It's what I basically this here over here. I'm not sure it's actually I mean, it makes sense to check some dumb shit where equals always returns true and stuff. So yeah, let's do that as well. So object object of, or item of not equatable type. Or not equatable. No, that's not as obvious from item of not equatable type. I'll also shorten these. So, and now I'm gonna actually call this same way. Anything else I want to check? No, this is fine. So, and now I can call assert equals to object basics with item and item of not equatable type. Actually, I probably want to put most of them in here because these are actually the ones I want to check as well. So I think I probably want all of those so I can actually properly test here. Does it make sense to have these and be generic in any type of form? I don't think so. I'm gonna make these object. Gonna call these differently equals. Not equals. And then item of different type. Stop. Blah. Ah! No, don't run anything. What did I press? Item of type. Or of not equal type. Actually, the name before was fine. Not equatable type. So now I'm gonna call these checks here and then call them from here and then do some other stuff in this method. So value equals not value equals. Dan Souls is considering if my code is over-engineered. Maybe. Here's the thing though. The reasons I'm doing all this stuff very thoughtfully is A, because I enjoy doing it this way. And I mentioned multiple times over the last few days that this is very important for this project, that I enjoy the way I'm working on it. And B, because I think it's actually good, because these are a good thing to do. These are the absolute base classes, and all of this will be used over and over, all over the project, or potentially multiple projects. And this stuff should be solid. It should. That was a bad pun. God damn it, not intended. So it should be solid. God damn it. Can't even explain it. So that was a bad pun. If you got that, then congrats. No, solid is solid is an what's the word? Abbreviate. What's the word? God damn it. I always forgot that word. Abbreviation, yeah. Solid principle. I mean, the name of solid is a joke or a pun already, so I guess. So you're supposed to use all of these principles or concepts and whatnot. That's why I had to laugh. Because I said it should be solid, and it didn't mean the thing, but it also fits. So yeah, making these classes as what's the word? Friction free as possible. Is, I think, helping tremendously in the long run. It's just going to add up if there's friction anywhere. And friction can either be the API not being convenient to use, or writing tests being annoying, or actually error prone, because I have to do the same thing over and over again and don't write a helper method for it. Yeah, or it can mean that there are hidden bugs somewhere, which later down the line cost a lot of time and value to find and fix. The only reason I consider this maybe potentially over-engineered at this point is that I don't know where I'm going with this project quite yet. This project is really, really early on, so I might end up scratching all of this, either because I scratched the whole project or because I realize, oh, I have to do this differently. So you could argue that it's a little risky to put the effort in right now, but I don't think it's wrong to put it in per se. It's a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I have fun doing it this way. Basically, if that makes any sense. And yeah, testing is super important, and that's all one other thing. Like, there's actually another reason I'm doing this project is because I want to learn or improve on a few things, and I'm lazy with tests. So I want to get in the habit of writing lots of good tests. Yeah, I got annoyed already that I had 3 different classes where I had to copy paste basically, like copy paste and then modify the same tests because they're all having the same pattern of being equatable to the interface. And like that's obviously an annoying thing to do because you have to do it all over and over again, and B, a risky thing to do because if you have to copy paste it and then modify it, there's a reasonable risk that you're doing something wrong the next time around, and then your tests are not helpful. So I mean, it's not super likely. You would have to fail at writing the tests and also fail at writing the equals method, and both have to fail in a way that the test succeeds so you don't miss it, but better safe than sorry, right? I know how it feels to create a game from scratch like this. Oh, did you create a game, Science Souls, or multiple maybe? I don't know. Tell me. Oh. Like I don't really I started multiple once, but never got really far. And I hope that I can break this pattern, with this one. We will see. I mean, it's probably gonna be interrupted when your process drops NDA, but I don't know. And I don't know when that will happen. So, speaking of which, I could now play to process because the servers are still open. I think I'd rather do this though. I mean, I decided that earlier today. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oops, wait. Where's the? Oh yeah, I've googled a thing earlier today, and it doesn't seem to be working, which annoys me. Because I googled, and apparently your Steam stream is supposed to show up on your curator page if you set it up correctly, and I'm pretty sure I set it up correctly, but I don't see it anywhere. So that annoys me a little bit, because my curator page has a surprisingly high amount of followers, 264. Like that's actually 246. That's actually like this is. I don't know where this is coming from. In general, the Steam Creator always surprises me. Apparently, people use that thing. It has 246 followers, and there is like a stats page about it. Where is that? Is that here? Admin. Yeah. It apparently it influenced 38. Like, keep that. Take that number. 38,733 views influenced. 790 over the last 7 days. That's like crazy. And views influence means that the creator thing popped up on someone's Steam page. So basically, someone who follows this creator opened the store page. Or someone who, I think you can see curator page, like curator recommendations popping up if you don't have enough curators for that game, if I remember correctly. And that always surprises me. Like, this is actually a reasonable amount. So it annoys me a little bit that it's actually not showing up on a curator page as it should be. It's a bit dumb. So I don't know what this is all about, but it doesn't work. Maybe I should write the support or something. This the new Steam search. What? Did you actually see what I was doing? No, I don't think so. Why is it actually popping to the browser? Oh, because... Oh, interesting. Okay. Well. Sure, share a YouTube link to your game. Yeah, do that. No, a curator is not a new Steam search. The curator is the system that's in place for a few years now, where people can write recommendations for a game, and then they will show up as little thingies on the game store page, and they can have a link to a video or something or an article. Let's actually watch that together. Why not? Let's see what... it's loud. Stop. Also popping up in the wrong browser and all of that. Okay, you stop really quick. So that is apparently a work in progress by Silent Souls. It's called NIMBY. Okay. Work in progress. There's some stats. Oh, this looks very Minecrafty. Oh god. So recently, in the due process Discord, one of the devs said the worst thing someone can say about your game is, "Oh, it looks like Minecraft," which is double true for the process because, well, their art style and their old art style, like the old prototype art style, which was even more blocky. So what's the gameplay here? We're running around. You have, I think, a bow or something. You have health and mana and XP. So it's some sort of role-playing game. Oh, that looks like a... It's supposed to be a goo. It certainly has a creeper texture. So that's a bow, yeah. And that's a wand, I guess. And C# and mono game. Okay, cool. So is this just like an RPG you made because you wanted to make an RPG, or is there some twist to it, some special mechanic? What is this? There were multiple people working on it, apparently. I mean, it's certainly more like, looks more like it's a dungeon crawler, I think, because I assume these rooms are supposed to have walls eventually. So it's like a dungeon. There are also these weird thingies everywhere. I wonder if those have a meaning. Update start, about screen checking. Check debug window text. Yeah, this is this game has something to show off. Mine doesn't yet, except for green check marks for succeeded unit tests. It's a crawler tile base. Okay. So yeah, dungeon crawler with RPG elements. That fireball. What is up with all those letters? And the smiley faces on the map. Oh, a zombie! You killed the zombie. Good job. This reminds me of Antechamber. It has nothing to do with it, but like the abstract looking rooms and stuff. Part of it. You died. What? Oh, I missed the death. How did he die? Oh, he fell off the map. Okay. All is made by hand. Okay. Fishy writes that I feel like 2D indie games often better than 3D indie games. It's so 2D has the advantage that it's easier to create a low-budget art style that doesn't look shit. Making 3D look good on a low budget is hard. It can be done, but it's hard. Gameplay-wise, I'm not sure, because I'm actually, like, gut feeling says 2D can potentially be easier than 3D, but I never did any of the two, really, so I don't really want to comment on that. I'm not sure if gameplay is actually harder to implement. 2D, it's the same. I think it depends heavily on the game, but there might be a like that. The average 3D game is harder to program than an average 2D game, but I'm not sure that's actually true. The worst thing is we're missing gameplay. There are a lot of other stuff. Glass mixing? What's that? Shadows, dynamic update shadows, map generation, pathfinding. Okay. Oh yeah, Risk of Rain looks good, right? Is Risk of Rain? Let's check really quick. I think that was really nice. Fisher just mentioned it. That is a really distinctive art style. Oh no, that's not the one I meant. Oh no, I confused it. I mean, that looks okay for a 3D game art style, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not great though. You definitely see it's low budget. Okay. Back to green check marks. Well, not yet. So I want to check the items equals to itself. Then I want to check. No, yeah. The item is equals to equals. And it's not equals to not equals. It's also not equals to item of not equatable type. And it's not equals to null. So those are reasonable checks. Now I can call this from here. And on top of that, I can make the same checks But for the other method, is there a point in doing that? Like I'm thinking about doing this now. And this is actually, oh, this is the, oh, interesting. This is that equals method. Why? Why is it calling equals object? Shouldn't it be calling equals as one? Why does it call equals object?
Hello everyone. This is
Ah, god damn it. That part of the video. Now the ad comes. I need a different source for music.
Then you need to check out our list.
And yeah, I know that ad is very, very ironic if I say that, but that service is way too expensive. This confuses me. T class is implementing iCreatable. Ah. Damn. That's why I needed that. If I remove that, I cannot put it in the other method because he doesn't know that item is implementing t equate the other generic parameter t equatable to. So it cannot actually call the equals method that expects a parameter of t equatable to. But as soon as it say t class is actually implementing that, oh, god damn, what am I doing? Then it realized, oh yeah, this can be put into that the other equals method. Oh, you don't see the overlay. Sorry, I forgot. But basically, if you, okay, let me do that again. Anyway, you can see it. So this calls equals object because he doesn't know that item is implementing inheriting or implementing from t equatable to. As soon as I remove these comments, it calls the other one. So that's why I had in mind that I have to use that. And now we're gonna call this and this. And yeah, we can't call this obviously because that is a different type. And this is kind of redundant now. So I'm not sure this makes, I mean, it's not super redundant. There could be something going really weird. Like it's checking, like this should obviously, usually these should succeed when these succeed. And vice versa. But if you fucked up your equals implementation somehow, then having both checks in, because they're definitely checking different things. Basically, like this one check, if equals is implemented correctly, equals to object is implemented correctly, then these checks will eventually also cover these tests. But if it's implemented incorrectly, then they will not. And then it might be worth it to have this here. So, yeah. So, like, these tests don't really hurt. Especially because I can just call them now with a simple method. And so putting a few redundant tests in here makes sense. I could also test for null. That's calling the wrong one now though, but I can cast null to t equatable to. It has to be a nullable type then though. Which I can't guarantee, I think. Yeah, let's not have that. I could write where t equatable to class, and then I'm allowed to write that. But I don't think I want to make that because that restriction. Wait, how is that about interfaces? Are interfaces always of class? No, they aren't, right? Can I call this with T equatable being an interface? I don't think I can. Let's test. Let's test that. It's not hard to test. Results. String I enumerable. Equatable. Fine. Using the generic type I equatable T require. Oh wait. God damn it. Let's just do I tile. Oh. Tile obviously has to implement. So the first parameter obviously has to be a part that actually. Okay, I can actually do this. Interesting. But I would not be able to call this with coordinate now. Because, or coordinates, well both really. The coordinates is I equatable to coordinates, or coordinate. And now it should. Why is it not complaining? Now it is. Yeah. So I want to call this because coordinate implements I equatable to coordinate. And I can't call this if this has to be a class. So yeah, not gonna do that. So we're not checking for null here, which is fine. Okay, so now that this is done, I can actually use that and say puts 2 or z equals equatable basics. We have to actually do a proper thing. New tile. Oh no, wait, those are fine. Yeah, new tile doesn't actually have a proper implementation for equals. So it's just gonna use reference equals, so I actually need the reference to that thing. So this is not a perfect test example here because tile is actually a little special so far. God damn it, can't type. Oh. And why is this complaining? Type arguments cannot be inferred, okay. There we go. And now we name that to equals because it's gonna check both anyway. I like that song. It's actually one of the better ones in that video. Hi Joshua Hannes, welcome to the stream. So and now this is super easy and I can do this everywhere. So that's cool. check this really quick. What is my current thing? Okay. So yeah. So you can either call this and just check for equals, or you can do this and check for equatable and equals. That's good. So we're gonna do the same for the coordinates. Rename this method to equals and just call equals test helper. Set equatable basics coordinates, and live unit testing just died. I didn't check actually. Were there green check marks? I assume there were. I'm pretty sure I would have noticed red crosses. It also makes sense to. Oh, wait, we could have. Oh, we could make those innumerable potentially. Because at least for. Yeah, wait, I'm gonna change that in a second. We're gonna first do this now. Type string. Because I actually want to have multiple. I want to be able to have multiple test candidates I can check for. I mean, I couldn't just put that here then. I would call it for both equals methods in that case. So extending that method might be worthwhile. At least for this one to be multiple ones. Potentially also for... Well, obviously also for this one then. Potentially also for this one. That doesn't make much sense usually. But for the not value equals, that makes sense. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait, where's the hotkey for change signature? Do you see that pop up or you don't? It's a shame. Choop. Yeah, it fucks up my formatting. So now we change this to be params t class array. And now we can put multiple in there. Oh, no, wait, I can't because I'm naming them. Yeah, those features don't mix well. Okay, what is the best way to do this? What is the best way to do this? I mean, I can. So multiple options. I either get this in here, but that makes the call a little awkward. I could go nuts and use a builder pattern or something along those lines, or fluent syntax or whatever. But that seems a little bit overboard. It's not completely unreasonable, but it's a little bit too much, I think. Like you could build, like you could have a build, either use a builder pattern and have like an assert equals builder that creates the tests based on what methods you call, or use the fluent syntax with that. Both are pretty similar. Both patterns are pretty similar. in most. That's a lot of work though for a very minimal gain. Alternatively, I could say fuck it. If I want to test extra values, I'm just gonna do that in the calling test. But that takes away that is actually that should actually be fine. It doesn't like I don't want to call both methods. I'm just gonna call the other method, but there's no real reason. Like this check here, like this one, only exists to verify that this function is actually calling the other function. That the equals object function is actually, or method is actually calling the equals t equatable to method. So having one check here should be enough. So if I want to test more cases, I'm just going to do this in the test. I was considering writing a test help method that just uses asserts both equals, but no. I think it's surely it's easily enough to just do assert is false, and now through a few other things in here. So let's actually extract those as a local. Why is this bracket missing? Go. This song sucks. If anyone has any good ideas how I get good music, I don't need to attribute for it. That would be, I don't know. That would be amazing, but is there something else I want to test for? What was the code here before? Do you see this? No, you don't see that. That's a huge shame. Yeah, okay, it's the same test. So I have a plugin installed here, which is called diff check git diff margin, I think is it. And you see that besides the usual margin you get here, the yellow green one, which shows you which partitions have been changed and saved. I also have this one, which shows me changes from Git, basically. And it has a on-click effect, which opens a window which shows the old value and allows me to revert that part and copy the old value and stuff like that. So that's pretty useful. Very good plugin, in my opinion. I use it a lot, and I got really annoyed when it's not working for some reason or it's not installed or something. It's usually stable. I've just had an issue once where it didn't work properly with the new Visual Studio version, I think, or something. And I get so used to it that I really get annoyed when it's not there. Okay, so this is good. Is there something else? Oh no, there's nothing here I can test because Tile doesn't actually have proper, proper equals logic. We also have the regular here, this one. We have this one though. But we're gonna keep use this. Didn't I decide on this? No, apparently I didn't. I know. I'm still uncertain if you should use this. I know. I'm gonna keep it for the moment. But I can get rid of all of this and just call equals test helper now. Insert equatable basics. Coordinate. So I just realized the funny thing is I have 3 classes right now, or one class and 2 structs that I'm using this new helper method for now, and none of them are a good example for the full usage of it. Because coordinate and coordinates both just implement themselves. They're not like they're equatable to themselves, not to the interface, because I don't have an interface because they're structs. Well, they could have interface, but they don't have, because I decided it doesn't make sense. And tile doesn't actually properly override equals, or not in any, doesn't override equals in an interesting way. Just reference equals under the hood. So, but I think the other classes might have some good examples. So, item, coordinate. Should rename this up here. Oh no, live unit testing broke again. Why? Breaking a lot. It's always the same fail error, right? Fail error. Argument exception. The supplied snapshot point is on an incorrect snapshot. Let's Google that really quick. Because probably not the only one with that issue. Do you know how to get a Psychologe in Germany? No. I mean, ask your Krankenkasse, whatever that is in English. Usually a good idea. Situations where you don't know to which doctor to go. The fail everyone is this 2019 October. That's a few months ago. The issue is currently being investigated. Team will get back to you. Name error 16.4. Prepared for release on November. "10 hours ago, someone is complaining that the fix is not live yet." Good. Good. I'm not the only one. Okay. Well, it's not good, but... U equals new coordinate... No, wait, I do it the other way. Coordinate 2. And then not value equals coordinate 3. I don't need this. And last but not least, item modified type a string. Wait, can I not do I have a conversion from an int tuple to a coordinates? Because I think I have. I have it from implicit coordinate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's more cumbersome to write than just calling the construct, though. Okay. I mean, I could write an explicit one from int. Then you could do like this. It's rather dumb though. I'm gonna stumble over this so many times, I'm just gonna get rid of this. This is annoying the crap out of me. Let's first commit this though. Edit equals test helper dot third equatable basics. And now I'm just gonna get rid of that. Just gonna get rid of that converter, to be honest. Like, you don't need this. You can't just call the constructor. There's no point in converting an int into a coordinate. You can just use the constructor. And now it's gonna break everywhere. I'm gonna fix the syntax. So should be able to do it this way. Oh wait, it's easier. And just do search and replace. Search for coordinate. Replace it with new coordinate. I can't, well. it's helping tremendously anyway. More brackets. Lovely. Oh wait, something broke here. Oh no, I'm okay. Did the brackets wrong. Yeah. The other one is good. Like having an explicit conversion. Actually, I can get rid of that as well. Is that ever being used? It's covered in a test, but is it really useful? I just have this public, which is easier, I think. Let's delete this and see where I get an error. Apparently it's getting used somewhere. Coordinate tests. Yeah, I have a test for it. That's it. But why would you ever write this instead of just... Yeah, I think removing these is the right choice. This is a different story here. I mean, maybe not actually, because same logic applies here. This is actually using this operator. This conversion operator is actually. Oh no, because it's an implicit conversion now. So this actually makes sense now. Like this, there might be use cases for this, where I get coordinates stored in variables, and then I can create coordinates out of them. So that makes sense. These implicit operators, but these explicit operators didn't make sense for coordinates, so I'm just gonna get rid of them. Removed explicit conversion operators from coordinate. She asks, what do you think about Warhammer 40k? Crazy universe. I'm never gonna touch that game with a 10-foot pole. The universe is like, I don't want to get into the universe, but it's very amusing. I have a friend who is very deep into it, and listening to stuff he tells about that universe is really funny. We played a tabletop RPG in the Warhammer 40k universe once, not the main one, like the Space Marine one, the old one. I think there's a new one, if I remember correctly. It was horrible. But the universe is certainly interesting. It's completely weird and crazy, but it's interesting. Not a fan of the game. The miniatures look cool. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't even know the rules, but I'm never gonna like. This is not a game I want to get into. What I like, however, is that's not 40k though. That's just Warhammer. It's Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl's cool. Only played the digital version of it, obviously, but Blood Bowl is awesome. Awesome. What is awesome? Awesome. Mathris asks, how long has it been since you looked at Screeps? Sometime last year. I tried to get it running with C#. I think it's possible. Like I got it half running already. But yeah. like there's a thing called I think bridge.net, which basically allows you to compile .NET into JavaScript, which I used to get scripts running with C#, which was an interesting experiment, but it was very fiddly. So I gave up on it. I think it's doable, and like I had a plan to do it eventually and then make a video guide, but I'm not sure if I ever find the time to do that. I'm sure it would get a few views, but also I'm still subscribed to the Screeps subreddit, so I get some pieces of information from there sometimes. Apparently people are still recommending my tutorials, so that makes me happy. Okay, so this is good. I think we can move to the next step. We should actually, because the human brain likes it to check boxes. We're gonna check this box. There we go. Bam! Endorphin rush. Endorphin. It should be endorphin. Okay. And endorphin. Is that the word? That's the word. That's the German word, at least. I guess this is the English one. Yeah. Endorphin rush. Yeah, Methodist writes that those videos are the how he found me. Actually, I mean that's true for over 2/3 of my subscriber base. I think I got like Screeps is definitely the biggest impact on my channel ever. Bigger than Strive back then. It's a little sad, to be honest, but speaks more about how unsuccessful Strive was and not anything about Screeps. Fishing asks, as I see, he's interested in how my base looks like after all the time running it, but I'm pretty sure my bases don't exist anymore. So yeah, I could just add some boxes to check them. Yeah, let's do that. No, pointless boxes don't give you endorphins. What do you pronounce that in English? Headphones warning. Endorphins. Endorphin, apparently. Okay. Okay, so thanks to past Pion, we have a good stash going on, and we can pop the next thing off the stash. Take a look at the changes really quick. What, you don't see that? Do you see it now? Yeah, now you see it. There we go. Because I was working on the tile collection to make the tile collection equatable, basically, I think is the thing I wanted to do. Right, so equals to object equals to tile collection, so we can use what we just did there partially. Well, we can use it for the tests, that is. So we added equatable to tile collection. You see this, right? Yeah, okay. And we added, or I added, I tried to get rid of the we. Like, it really doesn't make sense. I understand why a lot of streamers and video creators do it. It feels very natural in a way, because I'm including the viewers in some way, but it doesn't really make sense, and it's a little weird, I think. I don't know. It's strange. I try to get in the habit of saying I, because, I mean, I did that. And but in games, it's the same thing. Like, we can go there. No, I can go there. Like, I decided to go there, not the viewers. Usually, like, especially for videos, it's not even live. Like, I mean, for going somewhere, that sometimes makes sense because I'm taking you with me. Like, I can say we go this way. That makes sense because I'm bringing you with me, I guess. But for a lot of other things, it doesn't really make sense. We defeated the boss. No, I defeated the boss. The viewers watched because they're viewers. That makes sense. And it's not about like, haha, I did, not you. It's just like, I think it feels weird to me when I hear it, when I listen to someone who says it. It's always like an itch that scratches me, and so I'm trying to. It's not about like I want to empower myself and saying, "Hey, you didn't help. It's all my work." That's not the point. So what do we do? What did we do in tile collection? Implemented equals to object. Implement equals to object and didn't implement equals to tile collection yet, or ran hash code. Okay. So first, let's get the tests going, and then implement tile collection, and then we can commit this and pop the next stash. Fishy says he found me via Pion's Primal videos, or I just saw in the past it was called what is? No. Those are two different video formats. Around what is Convoy? I played Space Run. Yeah, is Space Run the? Space Run is the. No, wait. Which one is Space Run? Space Run. Yeah, no, it's that one. Yeah, that actually got my video for that game back then was actually surprisingly successful. I don't have a curator thing for this. I don't have a review. This is back in the days apparently. Oh, 2014. Yeah, I didn't do that back then. I'm not even sure creators were featured at that point. It was a funny game, yeah, certainly. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so PPP and what is are actually two different formats. I realize people don't necessarily get that, but they're very different actually. Like PPP is called Pion's Primal Perception for a reason. It's my very first experience with the game. That's what I said at the start of the video as well. It's a blind impression, blind first impression. While what is actually an in-depth look at the game after I've played it to a degree where I say, yeah, I think I understood all the mechanics and can at least partially judge them. Usually don't complete the game at that point, but sometimes. So yeah, just getting that out of there. Those are two different kind of series that both run in parallel and both are still active, quote unquote. And not both inactive right now actually, because I'm doing this, but yeah. So basically back in the days I started with Let's Plays. And then at some point I realized no, I don't want to do Let's Plays in the form of like I started started blindly and did it over multiple episodes and tried to beat the game kind of or complete the game. And I never did, or usually didn't do well. Not never, but most of the time I didn't complete it because I don't complete games. It's I get bored before the end usually. And for multiple reasons, I wanted to stop that format and change it. So I created What Is, and What Is heavily inspired by WTF Is. It's very similar, not quite the same, like some subtle differences, but it's very similar to TB's WTF Is. RIP, by the way. And then I felt like, okay, I cannot give every game, like there were too many games I got for free because the developer wanted me to make a video, and I got into the game and got annoyed by it after the first few minutes, and then had like the feeling like, oh yeah, but I have to make a video about it because he gave it to me for free. I don't want to spend more time to make What Is, and like I got annoyed by what should be fun for me, like, and so I invented PPP, which is just I play the game blindly, and if I don't want to continue playing it, I can just say, okay, that's it, end of the video, deinstall the game, and be done with it. Or I can say, okay, that's interesting, let's look more into it, play it more, and then make a proper What Is video. So that's the idea behind these two series. These two series. So we don't need coordinates. We don't need this. We don't need this. We need the tile collection and the tile collection and the tile collection tests. So first we have to fix the tile collection tests. Well, not really fix, but improve. So we're gonna do equals test helper dot assert equatable basics tile collection, and now we get a proper example for this method, because now we actually have tile collection, which is supposed to implement value equals and also implements it's supposed to be value equals to I tile collection. So this is actually a proper usage of this method now. So let's get that set up. Item, we have a collection property in here, right? Because we use it that much. Okay. Item, then we have value oh, not wait. Why is there a semicolon up there? There we go. Value equals. Now we need a collection that's equals to that one. We should have one here. That one looks good. So many brackets. Okay. One too many apparently. And here it's good. I have the no wait, never mind. Never mind. Not value equals is gonna be an empty one. Well, let's do the regular one. This one. And then item of not equatable type gonna be a string. And now we can get rid of all of this. Rename this to equals. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. We still want to check this. We don't need to check this anymore. We want to check this and this. There we go. Yeah, I think I played Space Run 2 as well. Fishy is talking about it. But not as much as I played the first one. This one was really good. Oh yeah, the first one was actually when I still did Let's Plays. I think I did a multi-part Let's Play about it. I don't think I finished it, but the sad thing is when we're talking about that, when I made that change was actually detrimental to my YouTube career, quote unquote, because Let's Plays, like the Let's Plays videos, actually did way better in search rankings than PvPs and what is, mainly because of the name. People just search for Let's Play game name of game, and so naming your videos like that is just gonna pump you up in the search results. And I even considered renaming like PvP to Let's Play or something, but I don't know. Probably should do that actually. If I pick it up again in the future. PvP is just like, it's a good recognizable name, but it's not something people search for. And you can put Let's Play in your tags all you want. Search algorithm is first looking for the title. And yeah, so what is in PvP is not doing good in search rankings usually. Or not great at least. And Let's Play was, well, like Let's Play blah blah by TH Pion is what I called them, I think. And those videos actually, if I put them out close to release of a game, they usually did fairly well in the search ranking. Or sometimes I did. Like it always was a gamble, but I got spikes there. Like I got every few weeks I got another video that was actually getting multiple thousand views, and I usually don't get that with PvP or very rarely. It's also that YouTube changed over the years, obviously. That also plays a factor in that, but wow, Fishy completed everything in Space Run at 5 stars. I don't remember it being that good, to be honest, but I guess that's personal taste. It was definitely a fun game. What time is it, by the way? Why am I not tired? I should be really tired. So, last night, I didn't sleep much because my son woke me up at 5 and I couldn't fall asleep again for 2 hours. So, I fell asleep shortly after 7 and slept for another hour or so. Slept, quote unquote. Mostly dreamed bullshit. And was woken up multiple times because my wife was getting my son ready. Kindergarten. And then I had to get up and start working myself. And the two nights before, I had way too few sleep. How do you say that correctly, by the way? So if you say way too much, what's the opposite of that? Way too few? Way too less? What is the opposite of way too much? Opposite of way too much. Get out of my. This is not helpful. Can you say way too few? Or way too little? Way too little is good. Yeah, way too little. Way too little sleep. That's I think better. That's at least sounds right. So the 2 nights before that, I got way too little sleep because I got got into bed way too late. One night because the first night because I'm an idiot, and well, that was actually fine. It was calculated. That was fine staying up late there. But the night after that, I drank Coca-Cola because I'm an idiot. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it. It was like, oh, I'm gonna do a stream. Let's drink some Coca-Cola. So I'm more active and more focused. And then it was 11:30, and it was like, oh, I should get tired now. I didn't sleep enough this night, but I don't. Oh fuck! I drink 300 milliliters of Coke, and I'm pretty receptive for that kind of stuff. So. Well, I guess I'm not gonna sleep before 2 a.m. And well, that happened. So I didn't sleep much the last 3 nights. Like, not terribly, like not like 4 hours or something, but not enough usually. So I should be tired right now, but I'm not. I mean, I think the extra hour in the morning actually saved my butt. I should go to bed very soon anyway. Right. Maybe add gun wrong, gun sexual, not clickbait? What? To do what? I'm confused. Some bits of Ironclad. Ironclad tactics is cool. She writes, I normally go at zero, so at midnight to bed because I have to wake up at 7 and it's okay for me. Yeah, it's usually the time I go to bed as well. Yeah. It's around midnight. I'm also like, I can't really go to bed way earlier. It just doesn't work for me. I'm a night owl. I only drink sparkling water. I drink a lot of sparkling water. Like it's like usually I mostly drink sparkling water, and then cola, usually a little bit here and there. But not enough, that's why I'm still receptive to it. Not a lot, that's why I'm still receptive to it. Or at least that's what I think, or what I like to think. But yeah, I drink a lot of sparkly water. Fishy writes, sleeping from 0 to 7, okay. 23 to 6, I hope I don't die. Yeah, same here, kind of. I usually like, if I get 8 hours of good sleep, then I'm completely good the next day. But I usually don't need that to get through the next day. I just need a good night's sleep after a few bad nights. Okay. So now that I wrote the test, I should actually try to implement this. And this is actually going to be one of the more interesting things we did so far, because what we have here is a tile collection. The tile collection is wrapping an immutable dictionary of coordinates to tiles. And iTile collection, however, is not showing that. So this is not a public interface to that. I mean, well, it kind of is. Well, iTile collection is an immutable dictionary itself. So tile collection just wraps this. So comparing a tile collection to another tile collection is easy, because I could just use tiles and do the dictionary equals on the two. I think it's actually gonna still be easy. I think it's still gonna be easy. I have an immovable equals prepared already, so I think it's still super easy. Can we not just do tiles? Well, actually this. Children has equal children. Other? Damn. Okay. That's actually pretty easy. And not interesting at all, because we prepared the interesting part already. Well, so much for that. What I wanted to check though is if immutable dictionary, like not immutable dictionary, but the immutable dictionary class or the implementation of that interface actually overrides equals. So if I do tiles equals, what does it have? So this is probably not gonna work. No, okay. But what if the other one? Well, it's not gonna, if it's not working, then it's not gonna work. Wait, which equals is this? Oh yeah, no. Yeah, so it's not, because other is in those tests another tile collection. So yeah, okay, so this is not that at all apparently. So it's important we do this. This works. We could alternatively do this, which makes no difference whatsoever. I wonder what is cleaner, but I think this is better. Because yeah. Wait. There's this new C# 8 feature called default interface member implementations. Default interface members, whatever it's called. Can we do this? Can we take this and put it in here? Not like this. Hides inherited member. Yeah, okay. Well, do I? Okay, I have to do it new. I'm not sure. That's probably not gonna work in that case. And this is just not known. Okay, this works. And now I should be able to remove this. And now tile collection is not actually. Why not though? Oh wait, we can just. Oh wait, we can get rid of this interface now. This interface is just this one method, right? Yeah. Okay. So we can just get rid of this interface because we defined the method here. Now get rid of the new. Tile collection is fine, tile test collection is not right now. Oh yeah, fuck. It's not actually. Well, I guess I can't say that this one is equatable to tile collection. Does it actually work? No, it doesn't work. So it doesn't work because of the interface, but would it work if I don't do the interface thing? Do these tests actually succeed? There's still an error somewhere. No errors. Unit testing seems to have problems though. Unit testing is running. Takes way too long. Maybe it found like an infinity loop or something. It doesn't covered by 0 tests. That's unfortunate. Let's restart it. See if it actually gets shit done. I think it's breaking for some reason. Pretty rate. So correction, 22 to 6 is also I hope I don't die. I can't wake up at 6. Our company produces water and spark water because our company has its own water purification station. Okay, nice. Produce it for employees, the rest gets dumped into the normal water circulation system of the city. Okay. That's cool. I'm just getting tap water, putting it through a filter, and then using a soda machine to make it sparkly. Test completed successfully. Well, which tests? Because these didn't. Do these tests complete though? Let's just do that. I have a feeling this test is having issues. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just, maybe the test framework is not working properly with the interface default member implementation thingy. Test run aborted. Why? Test source process crash, stack overflow. So there's an infinite recursion somewhere for some reason. Weird, really. I don't know why. Okay, so yeah, this experiment failed, unfortunately. It's a bit weird, but you cannot just like cannot do this. No, wait, yeah, because now it says it's not actually implementing this. So you can put members in an interface, but you cannot use them to implement another interface. Which sucks. And if I do it without the interface, it for some reason runs into an endless loop. Endless recursion loop, which is strange. Really. But well, let's just change this back then. And make it work again. And there we go. Everything green, everything fine, everything good. Weird. It's a really weird feature. I'm still not quite sure what the use case is for it. So I hope they would have found one here, but apparently not. Our company uses city water, but when we return it, the waste has to be cleaner than the city water that we used. Okay. So you use the city water for whatever you're doing at your company, and then in order to return it has to be cleaner than what you got when you what you got originally. So you need a proper water water purification thingy. Okay. This is strange. Yeah, this default member interface thingy. Default interface member. What's it called? God damn it. C# default interface implementation methods members. What's the official name? Default implementations interfaces. No, that's not the. Is that the name? Okay, Matt's called it that way. The Torgerson. He usually knows what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure the official doc. Here's a doc page for it, if I remember correctly. Oh, remember? Maybe not. Pretty sure I saw something with members somewhere. Here, maybe. Safely. Okay, that's a tutorial, but it calls it default interface methods apparently. Okay. No doc page for it either, though. Okay. So they're called default interface methods. Okay. That makes sense. Well, there can be properties though, so why just methods, not member? Weird. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the use case is upgrading the interface. I get that, but it's still strange. I'm not sure if this is. I wonder if I ever run into a situation where this is actually useful. Okay, so this was easier than I thought it would be. Implemented. Wait, what did I actually do? I made tile collection equatable. Made tile collection equatable to itself and implemented it in tile collection. The thing is, this code could just be part of a tile collection. Like, this doesn't have to, this is not tile collection specific at all. But if I implement, in theory, multiple tile collection now, all implementing tile collection, they could have different implementations of equals, which is not necessary. But I don't see a way of, I mean, I could create a base class and have them inherit that or something. I just have to trust the implementer, the interface, that they don't fuck it up. If I want equals to be overridden. I do. Oh, that's a bot. That's a bot if I've seen. Block user. Bye bye. Is it not just blocked for me or is it gone for you as well? Oh, I think it's just blocked in restream. That's not good. Ban user. There you go. Should be gone now. I hate spam. Spam's the worst. Okay, so that was easy. I'm making progress. I don't have a checkbox for this, right? No, I don't have a checkbox. Well, I have one. It's this one. Bam. No, it's part of this one actually. Okay, let's write it down just to make checkboxes. Make tile collection value equals or implement value equality for tile collection. Okay, but that actually means we're getting to the thing I wanted to do at the start of yesterday's streams, which is the interesting thing. So that's cool. We're gonna stash pop one more time. If I find the button for it. Don't change it. So what else is on that stash now? I think I can actually delete the stash now. Oops, what did I do? I think I can get rid of the stash, but I'm gonna because there's only one stash left, and that's just I use that to create the other stash basically. Not gonna do that yet though. Let me check this first. If I committed this, I can clean up the stash. So what did I do? I wrote an interface. No, I changed the interface at factory and added a method called generate next step, which is gonna return a new factory because factory is supposed to be immutable. So instead of actually changing the factory, I'm gonna return a new copy with the updated values. And then I started implementing a factory class. There's something wrong with the encoding here. Which doesn't do anything yet. And added some tests for it, which are not done yet. So this is the thing where we have to work on now. We have to implement the tests. So, and I have to check really quick if these files are somehow corrupted. They look good in Visual Studio. Let's check. This is still broken. This might just be a setting of. Is this doing this for all the files? Yeah, okay, so this is just my P-format being set up incorrectly. Preferences. Character encoding. It's probably UTF-8. No. Didn't help. UTF-8 no bomb. No. Okay. What is it then? Let me check. Maybe I can find it here. Okay, Notepad++ is not showing anything. UTF-8 with bomb. Why is changing it to this then? Or helping? Oh, it did. I just have to reopen it. Okay. Okay. That's dumb. Like, that's really dumb. Having a preference for setting the encoding and then not updating it until you open the next file, that's a bit dumb. Samuel T. Norman is making fun of the bot, of the spam bot, who just grabbed information or meta information from the stream and wrote Science and Technology as one of the best games. Yeah. Just plug together the title of the stream and the category the stream is running in. Okay. So, it's getting late. I should get to bed, but I'm not tired. My wife is not home yet. I guess that's gonna be my cue. She goes to bed, I'm gonna stream. Okay, am I tired? Let me check really quick. Little bed? I'm not sure I can sleep right now. And there's nothing worse than lying in bed and not being able to sleep. Like, that's horrible. It's just wasted time. Time is my precious. My precious. That was not good. The German Golem interpretation is a little better than the English one, I guess. Anyway, so okay, I wanted to start with a very simple test. So basically, I want to. Okay, here's the thing. I want to implement the method generate next step, which is supposed to take all the structures in the factory, or take all the things in the factory and make them move. So all the conveyor belts will move resources on top of them. All pushers that have to push will push, and whatnot. So everything should do whatever it is supposed to do, and we calculate the next step. So it's not gonna run in real, like I can animate it in real time later on, but under the hood the logic is gonna be based on steps or cycles or whatever you want to call it. It's called cycles in Infinity. So this method is supposed to calculate the next step and then create a copy of this factory with this updated status, because as I said, factory is supposed to be immutable. So that's a little this is the most ambitious method probably I have written yet in this project. And I want to do it kind of test driven. So I'm going to start with, by writing tests for it. And I'm going to start with a very simple test and make sure that test succeeds, and then evolve that test and make it more complex and get more cases covered, or make new tests or whatever, and make sure the method stays follows the tests and implements all those tests correctly. So the first very obvious and very, very, very simple and trivial test is if I have an empty factory. So I do a factory with a new tile collection, and the tile collection has no tiles in it. Like, it's literally empty. There aren't even tiles in it. Like, okay, remember the setup is we have a factory. The factory has tiles, and on top of each tile there can be, like, the tiles in combination with the coordinates will basically define the level layout. And every tile can have a number of structures and a number of resources on top of it. Structures being conveyor belts, pushers, spawners, consumers, whatever, and resources being whatever the resource will be. Iron, rockets, fuel, I don't know, whatever, blocks. And so if I have a factory that has no tiles in it at all, then it's basically a level, an empty level. It's not even an empty level. It's not really a level either, because it can never have things in it, because there are no tiles you could put things in. So this is not even this is a zero-sized level basically. So generating the next step for that should be trivial, because it shouldn't do anything. It should just give a factory with the same, like, it should give an empty factory back. So what this means is, do I want to, okay, now the question arises, do I want to check for equality in factory, or do I want to check for equality in a tile collection? Probably want, no, I want a new factory back. Yeah, but the factory doesn't have to be the same. So, okay, here's the thing. The factory could have other, so okay, let me visualize it. So my thought was, or my question I asked myself was, do I want to check R equal factory and next step? Or do I want to check R equal factory tile collection? Should probably call that thing tiles, really. Let's do that really quick. And next step, tiles. Both will fail right now, obviously, but because the method just returns or throws an error, I think. So what does this mean? What's the difference between the two? So if I do the second one, I'm just checking that the content of the factory is still the same. So the level layout didn't change, and everything that's in the level didn't change either. Because remember, the tiles themselves are the level layout, and the content of the tiles is basically what's in the level. if I compare factory, like if I make sure that factory next step are equals, then I'm also like then I'm asserting that the factory didn't change at all, which is not true, however, because the factory will, not yet, but will hold or could potentially hold metadata, like the number of cycles it has run for, or I don't know, number of resources collected or something. Like it could have metadata that actually changes from step to step, while the tiles are just a representation of what is inside the factory. So we're not gonna do this, but the second one, because the factory is allowed to change even if it is empty, potentially, at least. But the content is not, because if there's nothing in there, nothing can change. Good night, Fishy. Sleep well. So, let's make this test succeed. That should be not too complicated, hopefully. I basically have to create a new factory because this thing is going to be immutable, so I have to return a new one and not the same one. I mean, this very simple case, I could just return the same one. Like, I could just do to make it green. I mean, I could actually assert for that this is not allowed. Then again, wait, actually, this is actually fine, though. This is actually fine, because if the factory is not immutable, if the factory is immutable and it didn't change, then it's fine to return the same object. That makes sense. However, this is lazy. I have to change that later on anyway. So let's do it properly from the beginning. So I cannot test for this not being the case because this is actually allowed right now. As long as I don't have any metadata on the factory, like number of... That's actually interesting though. Let's maybe put that in. Yeah, let's do it that way. Why not? Why not? Let's actually do that. That's an yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna add another property here. Int number of steps run, or steps run. Number of steps run. Steps run. Unsure. Let's go with number of steps run for the moment. I'm thinking like I could potentially also have like a property that gives me the actual steps that have been run back, like information about those. Like every step would basically probably contain like the old and the new state of the factory or something. Well, let's implement this very trivially, this is very simple right now, and they can expand on that later. So basically, gonna like this test succeeds now. Cool. No, wait, it doesn't, because this does not actually implement the thing. Let's make it implement the thing. Implement the thing. Also add it to the constructor. Go. And test succeed. Okay, so far so good. Now, however, I'm gonna check that the step counter actually increased. So step counter should be 1 now. And this will fail, obviously. So we have to now return a factory with a step count of 1. I cannot increase the step counter here. Let's actually call the step counter, shouldn't we? No. Now number of steps run is more explicit. So I can't increase the number of steps run because this is a get only properties, so I cannot change this. It's immutable. Remember, this whole thing is immutable. So I have to, now I'm forced, in order to make the test succeed, to create a new factory. So what I'm going to do is return new factory. And I'm just going to give it the same tile collection. And number of steps run plus 1. And that doesn't work. Cool. Why not? Interesting. Let's see. What's the message? I equal fail. Expected 1, actual 0. What? Why? Because I'm an idiot. There we go. Test was wrong. Cool. So basics are done. I mean, this is obviously, this is not actually doing anything. Like if there's some content in the factory now, it's not gonna actually do anything with that. Speaking of which, write another test. With which actually contains a few tiles, but the tiles will be empty. So tuple here. Horrible. This is still has the old name. Tile collection or tiles collection? Tile collection. I'll rename that. Quick tiles. And then here, number steps run. There we go. So, and this should also succeed, obviously. But it's a different test. So here I'm testing, like if I have no tiles, nothing changes. Here I have tiles, but there's nothing on them. So I'm gonna change that as well. I probably should not give null here. I should give empty, really. Because if I give null here, I'm gonna have errors later on. So let's do enumerable. Actually, let's do array empty. That's shorter. Just learned that recently. System. What do I need? A structure and a resource, okay. It's getting out of hand. Okay, what's your issue here? I structured to... Oh, because those have to be immutable sets. God damn it. Why did I make them immutable sets? I mean, I can just do 2 immutable set now. If I have to write namespace double set, I think. No. What's the namespace? Collection immutable. Doesn't have this. To immutable. Hash set. Okay. Fine. Okay, cool. Logan Smith asks what graphics library I'm using. None yet. None yet. The idea is to rewrite the early prototype in. Yeah, it's probably dumb. I want to try it because I want to try out the technology. I'm gonna write the early prototype in .NET Blazor, which is the new web front end, or not front end, but the new web framework for .NET. And what I'm gonna use in the end, I don't know yet. If Blazor works well for some reason, which is probably not, I'm gonna stick with that. And if that's not the case, I'm gonna check out some game engines like Unity or Godot or whatever. But I purposefully, or purposefully delayed that decision so far. Okay, so this, so far so good, everything green. So obviously the next step would be to have something in there that actually does something, so the content of the thing changes, which is the interesting part. I think I have to do this first though before I can actually do that. Or I'm just putting some, I could put some mock objects in there, that probably makes sense. So, yeah, but I'm not gonna do this now. I'm gonna end the stream now and head to bed. Yeah, I think that was fairly successful. Let's commit this really quick. Implemented first. No, it's not even the first draft. This is a work in progress commit. Like, there's nothing substantially in the factory yet. I mean, I could add them. I guess I could, yeah. Edit, generate next step, and numbers of steps run to iFactory. I think we can do that. And factory doesn't really implement those yet very well. Well, number of steps, yes. Generate next step, no. Well, partially. For trivial cases. And I'm gonna have to, like, the next step is gonna be figuring out what this thing is supposed to do, actually. So what is the core, like, this is actually probably the, this is actually gonna be very interesting and very important, because this is gonna be the most important method in the whole thing, I think. I say that now, and then the next time I'm gonna do this, it's just gonna be like a one-liner again. No, probably not. But well, it might be, but then the thought process to get there will still be interesting. So this is gonna be this is the core method. This is the method that makes the factory move. So this is gonna be the most important thing, basically. And so I have to find a good way to represent that in code in some forms. Like, I'm thinking about like I probably have to iterate through all the structures, get them in a certain order, and then call a method on those structures. Is probably what I have to do. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna end up with. But yeah, I'm gonna think about that in more detail the next time I'm gonna work on this. So yeah, but we're gonna have to do something to that extent. So I'm gonna throw some mocking structures in there, and make sure and check that their methods are being called or something along those lines, like in a test. So that's what my plan is for next time. We'll see if I actually get that done next time, but we'll see. Because I have a habit of getting off track. Well, not really off track, but realizing, oh, I have to do something else first. So yeah, we're here, and that's the meat. And let's write that down. Figure out how to implement, let's go more technical. Implement, generate, next step. Okay, cool. So yeah, it really helps. I have to like, as a resume for the last few days, I streamed every day. I'm not gonna stream tomorrow, by the way. Don't have time, but maybe Wednesday. Probably Wednesday, to be honest, but we'll see. Maybe not, but it's likely. As a resume of this experiment so far, I have to say it helps me a ton to do this on stream. Like, I don't think I would have done as much as I did already if I would not have had the stream running during it. It helps me a lot to stay focused on it. If the stream would be off, I would just have like a stream open in the background, or not in the background, but on the other monitor, and would get very, very little done. I would also not feel that motivated. Like, the thing is, it's not about, like, the reason for it, I think, is that I enjoy talking about this stuff, and if I do this all for my own in my dark room, well, it's not dark in here, but in my little room, not even a little room. Okay, if I do this all on my own, in this room here, in my room here, it's I don't know. It's I don't know what that is, but doing it by talking to other people to it, that actually engages me in the project way more than it would be if I would be on my own. So talking to you folks actually helps me a lot. So thank you for actually being here and being active in the chat, because I expected this stream to not be successful at all, like not having people around most of the time. Turns out I have people around most of the time, which surprises me a lot. Like, also people are coming back. I'm not sure if that's gonna stay that way, but I see names popping up every or most of the days, like Silent Souls, Fishy, Samuel. They're all showing around. The first few days there was this, I forgot his name. I remember the name as soon as I see it, but there was this other guy who was talking a lot. So that was cool. Or that's cool that people are actually engaged with this. I'm not sure if this is gonna stay that way. I mean, this is still new, so there's this factor of, oh, it's new shiny thing, so people look at it and engage with it for a while, and then usually people get bored of things eventually. But maybe the project gets interesting enough fast enough so people don't get bored. I don't know. Anyway, what I wanted to say is this is going better than I expected in terms of viewer engagement, and it's also going better than I expected in terms of, or I underestimated how much it helps me to have that viewer engagement. Like, by the way, I'm not trying to guilt talk you into engage with me in future streams. I hope that's not what this sounds like. I just want to share what I felt over the last few days. So if you get bored of this, don't come to the stream. Like, you're not obligated at all. Yeah, but yeah. I've sound like a broken record now, probably, but yeah, this actually, I'm super surprised that this helps me so much to stay engaged with the project. Like, being engaged with you helps me so much staying engaged with the project, or engages me with the project. Which is really, really cool. I didn't knew that, so I learned something about myself. Ah, that's always a good thing to say, right? And so yeah, thanks a lot that you're actually engaging. So that's cool. And now Silent Soul says that I actually inspire him, and Logan Smith says same. So now you make me feel. Now you make me blush. Silent Soul said that earlier. Yeah, I mean it's cool. That's cool, I guess. Yes, that's something cool. I think that's a good time to point out that if you enjoy creators, the content of other creators, or of creators in general, be it streams, be it YouTube, whatever, make sure to tell them once in a while. You don't have to put a good comment every week. From time to time, tell them. It doesn't have to be super meaningful. It doesn't have to be super complex. Just throw out a, hey, thanks for the video. It was fun, or it helped, or whatever. Because I think for a lot of creators out there, this is actually very, very valuable, especially for small ones. I mean, bigger ones, if you get a fan base, I don't know, I don't have one, I can't really speak of it, but that's just what I imagine. Like, imagine if you have a fan base that actually, like a bigger fan base that actually, like, then that's showing in and of itself that people enjoy your stuff, so you don't need, maybe, well, it's still nice to have people say it to you, but maybe it's not as important anymore. But I don't know, I don't have a big fan base, so I'm talking out of my ass here. But yeah, especially for small content creators, this is what, like, once in a while getting these comments is certainly one of the reasons I kept doing it over the years. Like, every few weeks or whatever, I get one of those comments which is really, really nice, and I think, yeah, that's awesome. And like, I had a similar experience recently. Well, I can actually show you. Like, I had an engagement on Stack Overflow, which brought the biggest smile on my face for like 5 minutes or so. Wait, not actually Stack Overflow. Well, yeah, no, not Stack Overflow, the other one. Like, it's Stack Exchange Network, but not Stack Overflow, but the Code Review Exchange, I think. Is that the name? Yeah, that's the name. There we go. So I wrote an answer to a question. Was it this one? Probably. No. No, that was actually no. Wait, that wasn't. No, it was Stack. Where was that? Okay, I can't remember where it was. Actually, it might have been this one. It might have been this one, or it might have been something. Like, basically what happened is I wrote an answer to a question somewhere. It might have been on Stack Overflow and not on Code Review. I'm not sure. It might have been that one that I showed you, but it's not. I have it a little bit. I remember it a little different. And someone basically commented below, hey, thanks. I think it was this one. Actually, I think it was this one. He didn't even, like, the comment is not even that special. He just goes about some technical points, and then at the end he says, I like your idea. I experiment around with it. And he accepted the answer. And that was like that's just like that gave me such a positive feedback. I was super surprised by my own reaction to that. Like, I was like, wow. Like, because I spent some time to get this to get this correct, or in a nice way, and then also I think I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, I put some thought into how to do this the best way, and then I put some thought into, or some effort into making this a nice answer, like well formatted and well written and stuff. And he rewarded it with a thank you and an accept. And I was like, I got this really big grin on my face. I was like, oh, I was useful. I was helpful to someone. It was like, whoa, what the fuck is not what's fuck is wrong with me, but what's going on with me? I didn't knew I didn't expect to have such a strong reaction to such a simple exchange. Like that's just how Stack Overflow works, or Stack Exchange works, right? You write something, and if someone finds it useful, they accept it and or upvote it or whatever. And I was like, wow, okay, that was super meaningful for me for some reason. I can't really put my finger on it, but I mean, I did something which I enjoy doing and is important to me, like creating a clean piece of code for a problem. And so that's I guess that's dear to my heart, doing things like that. And he valued it, and that's just in general, I think, for maybe not for all people, but for a lot of people, an important thing. And I guess I'm just an attention whore, to put it simple. Anyway, I wanted to head to bed. Now it's past midnight already. And this is actually the same song I ended on yesterday, so I guess stream is about the same length. Let me check viewer activity really quick. Not that I miss anything important again. No, nothing. Okay, cool. All good. So yeah, as I said, thanks again for watching. I say that at the end of every video, but I want to iterate really quick that I mean it. As I said earlier, I can do all this stuff and it's fun, but it's way more engaging if people actually engage with it. Or like engaging for me if people engage with it. So yeah, I guess I'm an attention whore or whatever. But that's just who I am. So yeah, every time I say at the end of a video, thanks a lot for watching, I mean it. And I mean it today as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Have fun and see you next time. Maybe Wednesday. Perfect timing, by the way. My wife just arrived. Good night.